People are asking me. I told them we're going to be.
Hi guys, if you can see my screen, please comment down below in the chat. Okay, hi guys, I'm just gonna wait a few more minutes till everyone has a chance to join in, and then we'll start. In the meantime, if anyone has any question from my previous video, let me know, okay? So we can talk about it before we start with the new material. What's good, guys? What's good? Hassan Arawi, man, how are you? How's everything going? W in the chat, boys. I'm going to be doing the circulatory system. Okay? Alhamdulillah, I'm good also. How are your periodics, guys? Let me know in the chat below. How did you all do in chemistry and math? Let's see, if we have a good amount of people who want me to do chemistry videos, I might even start doing chemistry videos. Let me know what you think. Yeah, I can do the quiz. I'll try to explain the material as quickly as possible. Okay, like I'll just go over it briefly, and then we can check out the quiz. Okay, we'll do the hard questions in the quiz. But anything that's diagram related or pure memorization, I'm just gonna skip it because there's no point if I waste time on it. You know, you guys have to memorize it and you'll be fine. But anything that needs explanation or something, I'll do it directly. Okay, I'm just gonna wait 2 more minutes till it's 7:30, and then we're going to start. Now, I'm not going to be starting from the beginning of chapter 4. I already did another video about the circulatory system where I spoke about the beginning of it. So this is just a continuation of my first video. Okay? This session is going to be maximum an hour. Okay, like hopefully we'll take 30 minutes, maybe 30 to 40 minutes doing the revision, and then the last 20 minutes we'll do the quiz. Okay, 1 more minute and I'm gonna start. So if you guys have any of your friends that didn't join yet, let them join, because many people have already asked me when will I be posting part 2. So this is basically going to be part 2 of the circulatory system. Okay? So make sure if any of your friends did not join yet, let them join. Okay, so I'm gonna start right now. I'm just gonna quickly go over what we took before, okay? Like very brief. So we took last time about the circulatory system. Okay, what did we say the circulatory system consists of? Okay, it consists of the heart and blood vessels, okay? And remember we spoke about the structure of the heart, how it has 4 chambers, it has a septum, it has atria and ventricles, okay? so I'm not gonna go over it much. Remember, we said the left side is more muscular because it has a higher pressure, and the left side also carries oxygenated blood, while the right side of the heart carries deoxygenated blood. And remember, we spoke about the valves we have. We have atrioventricular valves, and we also have the semilunar valves. Can you give the name of the process of the valves when blood goes through the heart? What do you mean? I don't understand your question. If there's something you're specifically asking about, let me know, but this is too broad to answer. Okay? And we talked about the blood vessels. Remember, we said we have three main types. We have arteries, we have blood capillaries, and we have the veins. Okay, remember we said veins have valves and they have a low pressure, while arteries, and they also carry, veins carry, we said they carry blood away from the heart, blood towards the heart. Okay, so they carry blood towards the heart, while arteries, we said, away from the heart. And remember what I told you, arteries start with an A for away, so arteries carry blood away from the heart. And we also said usually arteries carry oxygenated blood, except for an exception. I need someone in the chat to type the exception for me. Which artery does not carry oxygenated blood? And also the veins, we said they usually carry deoxygenated blood. Okay, and we also have another exception in veins. Who's also gonna give me the exception of a vein that carries oxygenated blood? Is going to be the pulmonary vein also. Okay, and remember we said now we're going to be talking about the second part, which is about blood circulation. Okay, so before we spoke about blood flow and how blood flows, and if you need a reminder, just check my previous video. Okay, I've explained it before. So now we're going to talk about the blood circulation. So there's something special in mammals. Their blood circulation, we call it a double circulation. Now what does a double circulation mean? A double circulation basically means that blood passes through the heart, okay, twice, okay, before it goes to the body. Okay, so how does that work? Okay, so remember, we said we have the heart. I'm not going to draw the heart again. I'm just going to write the heart. We have the lungs, okay? And what do we have? We have the pulmonary artery going from the heart to the lungs, and then we have the pulmonary vein going from the lungs to the heart, okay? And don't forget, we have deoxygenated blood entering the heart from the vena cava, okay? And then we have the heart pumping blood to the body, okay, through the aorta. Okay, so as you guys can see, the blood goes to the heart twice. How twice? It enters from the vena cava to the heart, and then it goes to the lungs, and then from the lungs it goes back to the heart, and then it goes to the body, okay? So it passes through the heart twice. That is why we call it a double circulation, okay? Now this double circulation consists of two different circulations, okay? We have something called pulmonary, okay? And we have systemic. So what's the difference? So remember, anytime we say the word pulmonary, we're talking about lungs, okay? So the flow of blood between the heart and the lungs, we call it the pulmonary circulation. While between the heart and the body, we call it systemic circulation. Okay, that is the double circulation that is found in mammals. Now we also have something called single circulation. Okay, this is usually found in fish. And how does this work? You have blood from the heart goes to the gills, and then from the gills it directly goes to the body. So it doesn't go. So the gills basically in the lung and the fish, what's their function? Their function is for gas exchange, right? So fish have gills, we have lungs. Now look in mammals, when the blood goes from the heart to the lungs, it goes back to the heart and then it goes to the body. That's in double circulation. However, in single circulation, it goes from the heart to the gills and then it directly goes to the body. It does not pass through the heart another time. That's why we call it a single circulation. I have a question for you guys. What do you think is more efficient? A double circulation or a single circulation? Double circulation, exactly. Why is it a double circulation is better? So a double circulation is more efficient because there is higher pressure and the speed of blood also increases. Okay, so we want the flow of blood to be more efficient. That's why double circulation is better. Perfect, guys. You all got it correct. Okay, so I think the blood circulation is a simple concept. So let's move on to the components of the blood. Okay, so let's go to the components of the blood. Okay, let me just find it for you guys. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, we found it. So blood. Now what is blood? Blood is a type of tissue, correct? Now, what are tissues made up of? Tissues are made up of several cells that perform similar functions. That's correct. So now we're going to be looking at the different types of cells that are found in blood. And we're also going to be looking at the function of blood. So why is blood important? What's its function in our body? So look what they tell us. Blood is a tissue composed of different types of cells suspended in a yellowish liquid component called plasma. So if they ask, what is the yellowish liquid component? It is plasma. Okay, so plasma is the liquid component of the blood. Now it's mostly composed of what? Of water. That's the main composition. It also carries other dissolved substances such as nutrients, plasma proteins, hormones, carbon dioxide, and urea. Okay? So plasma, let me write it down. Plasma, mainly composed of water. Okay, so mainly water, but it also has other dissolved substances, as we mentioned, nutrients, plasma proteins, hormones, etc. Okay? Now in this blood plasma, what do we have? We have red blood cells, we have white blood cells, and we also have cellular fragments called platelets. So let me write them down for you guys. Okay? So in the blood plasma, remember the plasma is the yellowish liquid component that's mainly made up of water and other dissolved nutrients. So blood plasma, what type of cells does it have? It has red blood cells, it has white blood cells, and it has platelets. Platelets are basically cellular fragments, okay? Now what is the function of each one? We're gonna start first with red blood cells. What do red blood cells do? Main function of red blood cells, transport oxygen. So whenever you hear the word red blood cell, directly transport oxygen. White blood cells fight infection. Okay? So they're basically the army of our body, if you want to think about it. Okay? So every country has its own army. Your body has its own army, and it's composed of white blood cells. Okay? They fight any infection. And you have platelets. Their role is in blood clotting. Okay? So whenever you get a cut and you're bleeding, and then after a few days it heals by itself, that's because of your platelets. Okay? Now we're going to be looking at the structure of each one, because remember, I've said it before, structure determines function. I need you guys to memorize this, okay? Structure determines function. It will make life so easy. Just think about the structure of the cell, you'll be able to know the function of it. So why do we say red blood cells transport oxygen? Who's gonna tell me? What is the pigment found in red blood cells that help them transport oxygen? Hemoglobin, exactly. So red blood cells have a pigment. This pigment is called hemoglobin, and this is the pigment that carries oxygen. Now, what are other modifications that the red blood cell has in order for it to be better suited for its function to carry oxygen? So one of its other structural modifications is it lacks organelles. Okay, so it doesn't have a nucleus. It has a biconcave shape, so it's going to be something like this, and here it's like empty. Okay, in order for it to be able to carry more oxygen. Okay, let's check if we mentioned everything that we need to know. Okay, so where are red blood cells? Okay, so red blood cells, they're also called erythrocytes. They're the most numerous, okay? And their major function, as we said, is to carry oxygen. And they're also responsible for the red color. Why? Because they have red protein pigment called hemoglobin, okay? Same thing as chlorophyll. Chlorophyll in plants is what? A green pigment, and that's why they're green. Same thing in our, what's it called? In our blood. Why does it have a red color? Because hemoglobin is a red protein pigment, okay? Now what's important is hemoglobin protein carries iron atoms, and those iron atoms are the ones that combine with oxygen, okay? So that's why people who have anemia, right? The people who have anemia have what? Low iron, okay? So they have an iron deficiency. That's why they feel tired. Why? Because their hemoglobin don't have enough iron. So oxygen is not being transported to all the body at a good rate, okay? It's a bit slow. And if our body doesn't have oxygen, we're going to feel tired, okay? So this is just for the people who want to become doctors or something, to understand more on a medical field level, okay? So that's why iron is important, because hemoglobin has iron atoms that combine with the oxygen, okay? Okay, now we also have, as we said, the structure of red blood cells. They lack a nucleus, and they also lack other organelles. Why? The reason is to provide more space in the cytoplasm to fit the hemoglobin molecules, okay? So this is mainly it for red blood cells, and they also gave you the shape, which is a biconcave disc shape, okay? Now let's look about white blood cells. We said the main function of white blood cells is what? Is to fight infection, okay? So they are larger than red blood cells, however less numerous, okay? And they play an important role fighting against diseases, okay? So they fight against infection. Now, do white blood cells have a nucleus? Yes, they do have a nucleus, okay? So that's the difference for you guys to know between red blood cells and white blood cells. So white blood cells have a large nucleus, and they possess several organelles that are absent in red blood cells. Now, of course, will white blood cells have hemoglobin? Of course not. Why? Because their function is not to transport oxygen. Their function is to fight infections, okay? So that's why white blood cells do not have... Okay, I think... Okay, my bad. Okay, I think we're here. Nope. I think we're here. No, I also don't think so. I'm sorry guys for this, but because the pages are not ordered in the correct order. That is why. Okay, so we're here. No, we're not here. We still have platelets. Okay, I need Tala. Yeah, please, Tala, if you can tell me where I should go. If what page did I skip? Okay, I go left. One more left. No, I finished this slide. I need to go to the one after this. Yeah, I know that's where we were, but خلاص, we're done with white blood cells. Okay, wait. I need something also. Just to add, I need you guys to know this. Okay? هلا, it's not that clear here, but know the compositions. Okay? So no, red blood cells have a huge percentage. Plasma also plays a huge role. White blood cells, you see, they're less than 1%. Even platelets are less than 1%. Okay? Okay, Musa says go 7 right. Okay, let's see. Yup. We're here. We're good. Okay. So now we have different types of white blood cells. Okay? We have some white blood cells that contain granules in their cytoplasm. And what do we call them? Granulocytes. Okay? And we also have another type of white blood cells that do not have granules. What do we call them? Agranulocytes. So whenever in biology you have the word A before, okay, it just means without. So if I tell you biotic, that means living. If I tell you abiotic, that means non-living. Okay? So it's the same thing here. The ones that have a granules, we call them granulocytes. The ones that don't have granules, we call them agranulocytes. Okay? So we talked about the function of white blood cells, which is to fight pathogens, which are bacteria and viruses. And they can also destroy damaged or worn out body cells. Now, each one performs a specific function using a specific mechanism. Okay? So we have different groups of them. We have a group called phagocytes. Now, what do those phagocytes do? From the name, phagocytes, what is a granule? So a granule is basically like, let me show you a diagram. Wait. Let me show you a diagram for you to better understand it. So these granules usually contain proteins. Okay? No, they could be something like this, and you can see them grouped together. Okay? So these granules just, you don't have to exactly know what they do. They just contain proteins. Their function is probably they support the white blood cell. But even the ones that don't have it are not affected. Okay? They can still perform their function really well. Okay, now let's go back to phagocytes. What do phagocytes do? Phagocytes perform phagocytosis. So for example, we have a pathogen. The black is going to be the pathogen. The blue is going to be my phagocyte. So it's going to come close to it, and then it's going to engulf it. Okay, so it's going to basically swallow it in. Okay, it's going to engulf it, and then it's going to be basically inside of it now, and then it will degrade it. Okay, it will degrade it when it becomes inside of it. So look what they tell us about phagocytosis. It's a process by which a phagocyte engulfs or ingests a certain foreign particles or microorganisms. Okay, and that's how they fight infection. However, some other white blood cells, what do? They produce antibodies, okay, which are Y-shaped proteins that bind to specific pathogens and prevent them from harming body cells. So look how this works. So you can have cells called plasma cells. Okay, you don't have to go into much detail, but I'm just going to show you for whoever is interested. Okay, it's an interesting topic. So you have other type of white blood cells. They're called plasma cells. And then you have, for example, this is an antigen. This is what's it called? A bacteria, and it has a specific antigen on its surface. Okay? So look what our antibody does. Our plasma cells do. They produce antibodies. These antibodies are Y-shaped. Okay? And what do? They recognize this antigen on a bacteria or on a foreign particle, and they bind to it. Once they bind to the antigen, the bacteria cell cannot function anymore. Okay, it basically hinders it from functioning. That's why it stops harming our body, and that's why we say that white blood cells play a role in immunity. And we will be looking at immunity later on in the immune system where we'll be looking at the different types of white blood cells. Okay, so let's speed up a bit. So we have platelets. What are platelets? Platelets are, we said, small cell fragments. They also lack a nuclei and are formed by special cells in the bone marrow. Okay, they play a role in what? In blood clotting. Okay, they become activated as they come into contact with new surfaces as blood leaks outside the cut blood vessel. And then what do? So basically, let's look at the diagram. So you have a normal blood vessel, you get a cut, okay? You have red blood cells flowing out, blood, okay? Blood is flowing out. Now what happens? You have platelets, okay? Now, these platelets, what do? They release chemicals, okay? And these chemicals, what do these chemicals do? These chemicals result in the conversion of soluble plasma protein fibrinogen into what? Into insoluble fibrin. Why? Because if, look here, the platelets will come together and around it will be the fibrin, which is insoluble. So it's not going to be dissolved by the blood or something. It's going to be insoluble. And they're going to clump into each other and then they're going to form a blood clot. Okay? That's it for the components of the blood. Okay, I'm gonna go a bit faster so we can do the quiz, because I think it's better to just do the quiz with you guys. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the function of the blood. Okay, I'm not gonna go into details with it, but what does the blood do? The blood transports oxygen, it transports carbon dioxide. Now what I want you to know, when it transports carbon dioxide, it transports it in what form? In the form of bicarbonate ions, okay? I'm sure they're going to ask about this. Okay, so carbon dioxide is transported how? Bicarbonate ions, okay? And even oxygen is going to be what? When iron in the hemoglobin combines with oxygen, we form oxyhemoglobin. And without the oxygen, we're going to call it, here it is, deoxyhemoglobin. Okay? That's when it loses its oxygen. Okay? And here they just give you an example. How in arteries, in veins, didn't we say veins carry deoxygenated blood? So they do not have oxygen in the hemoglobin. What color will it have? It will have a purplish red color, and that's why blood in veins is mostly dark red or purplish red, okay? Because they carry, as we said, deoxygenated blood, okay? So those are the functions of the blood. Also, we have transport. Remember in my first video, we said one of the functions of the circulatory system is for transport. And why did we say transport? We said transport because of the blood that it carries in its arteries and its veins, okay? And now we're looking at why. So it carries oxygen, carbon dioxide, urea, which has to be excreted outside the body. So you see how urea is carried into the kidneys, excreted out as urine. It's also for the transport of nutrients. It also transports hormones. And what are hormones? Hormones are chemical messengers that are produced by glands, okay? And they dissolve in the blood plasma and they are transported into specific organs, okay? For them to, their action to occur, okay? And they also transport heat. Okay, so those are the functions of the blood. If anyone has any questions, let me know before I move on. Yes, Anas, I saw your question. Now we're going to be looking at the blood types. Okay. So if no one has any question about the functions of the blood or the components of the blood, let's move on. Okay, I think we're all good. Okay, let's move on to the different blood types. Okay, so red blood cells have specific markers or antigens. What are antigens? We said antigens are proteins, okay? And these, on their surface, help determine an individual's blood group. Now we have ABO blood group system. Okay, those are the main. We have A, we have B, we have AB, we have O. Okay, it could be positive or negative. If you guys want heck to try interact with you guys, anyone who knows what their blood group is, type it in the chat below. Okay, so just for you guys to interact with me while I'm teaching. Okay, so we have two systems for the ABO. We have two systems for determining blood groups. Okay, we have the ABO system, which talks about this, and we have the RH system, which talks about if it's positive or negative. Okay, and this is very important because if someone needs a blood transfusion and we give him the wrong type of blood, there's going to be a disaster in someone's body. Okay, your cells will start attacking other cells in your body and people can actually die from that. Okay, Omar al-Sayyid is an O+. So who's gonna tell Omar al-Sayyid what is he? Is he a universal donor or a universal receiver? Donor, exactly. So if you guys ever need any blood, go to Omar al-Sayyid. I hope he'll give it to you. I'm sure he will. Okay, let's look at the ABO blood group system. We said the antigens that belong to the ABO group system are A antigens and B antigens. But if there's A and B antigens, does O have any antigens or no? Let's see, what do you guys think? Does blood group O have any antigens? Exactly, it doesn't have any antigens. That's why O is a universal donor, because there's no antigens found. So what is the immune system going to recognize? There's no antigens, so it can be given to anyone. Okay? Now, it can only have A antigens, only B antigens, or both. Okay? Or neither. So if it has only A antigens, yes, there is a universal receiver. Who's gonna tell Anas who the universal receiver is? AB, exactly. Do you have any AB plus here in the chat or no? Is anyone AB plus? Okay. So if someone has only A antigens, will this person have what type of blood group? A, B, or O? A, exactly. If it only has B antigens, it will be B. Okay, we have a question. What's mine? My blood group, I think it's B+. Okay. We have blood type AB, has both AB antigens, and as we said before, O has neither. Nor AB, nor A, nor B antigens. Okay. Now let's look at the other system. Okay, before we look at the other system, guys, this table, you have to memorize it. Okay? If you memorize this, all the blood groups is going to be easy. Okay, you have to know this table. Okay? Okay, Hassan Rawi has a question. I'm lost with the blood types. Can you please explain? Okay, so the blood types, we said, we have two naming systems. We have the ABO system and we have the RH system. Okay? Let me show it to you here. This is the ABO system and this is plus and minus is RH system. Okay? We have two types of antigens that's found on red blood cells that determine the blood group you have. So if you have A antigens, you're going to have blood group A. If you have B antigens, you're going to have blood group B. If you have both A and B antigens, you're going to be blood group AB. If you have none, you're going to be blood group O. Okay? But now, Guys, it's very simple. Just flip it. Blood group A produces what type of antibodies? Who's gonna let me know in the chat? B. Perfect. Okay? So think about it logically. If my body, if I'm blood group A, okay? And I have an A antigen, right? Let me put the A antigen as blue. Okay? Now, is it logical if my body will start producing anti-A bodies? Antibodies A? If I produce antibodies A, I will attack my own cells. Exactly. It doesn't make sense. So I'm not going to produce antibodies that are going to attack my own cells. So what antibodies will blood group A produce? B. Perfect. If you know this, flip them all for the rest. So, if I start looking at blood group B, okay, before I look at blood group B, yes, it's B and S. Why? Because if I have a red blood cell, okay, I'll get to AB. Let's make sure we understand this point. Okay, I want you guys to understand it logically and not memorize it. Once you understand it, you will never forget it. Okay, so we said blood group A, it's determined by what? Because they have an A antigen. Now, of course, my body will not produce antibodies to A, because if I produce antibodies to A, okay, remember antibodies are Y-shaped, I'll attack my own cells. I don't want to attack my own cells. It's going to be stupid if I attack my own cells. Okay? So what am I going to do? I'm going to produce, as Tyler said, I'll produce antibodies B. Now, I have a question for you guys. If someone is blood group A, can I give him blood from someone who is B? Exactly, no. Why not? Who's gonna tell me why I can't do that? Why won't it be logical if someone who is blood group A to give him someone who has blood B? Exactly, because they have antibodies to B. And blood group B, what does it have? So this is blood group B. It has B antigens. So if I give it here, these antibodies will attack this. Exactly. Well done, guys. Okay? That's basically the concept of blood groups. Once you understand this, it will be super easy. When you go back to AB, let's go back to AB. We said AB has both antigens. Okay? It has antigen A and antigen B. Okay? And as Tala said, okay, no antibodies are produced in AB. That's why if I give them any type of blood, but there's no antibodies to fight. So who are they gonna fight? They don't even produce antibodies. So if I give them from O, if I give them from A, from AB, from B, that's why we call them universal receiver. Okay? Does it make sense? Hassan, does AB make sense now? Thank you so much, Anas. Perfect. And now the final concept for ABO system, you have O. Now, tell us about O. Does O, we said, what does O have? O doesn't have any antigens, right? Exactly. So if O has no antigens, for example, let me draw it for you guys. O has no antigens. So there's nothing on its surface. So no matter who I give, if I give A, if I give B, if I give AB, and if I give O, none of their antibodies, okay? Hala AB doesn't produce antibodies, okay? So let's only look here, A and B. Those antibodies cannot recognize anything. Why cannot recognize anything? But there is nothing. There's nothing on the surface. We have no antigens on blood group O. So what are the other antibodies going to recognize? They can't recognize anything. Okay? Does also blood group O make sense now? Okay, Ali's asking, I don't understand what are universal receivers. Universal receivers are what? They receive blood from anyone. Why does AB receive blood from anyone? Because it produces no antibodies. So if I give it any blood group with different antigens, I'm not producing antibodies to fight them. So what am I gonna fight them with if I don't have antibodies? Okay? Does it make sense now, Ali? Let me know if it makes sense so I can move to the RH system. Okay, perfect. So everyone understood the ABO system. Now we also have the RH system. Okay? Let me just look where the RH system is. Okay, let me know if I skipped it or not. Think about it, Anas. O plus, who can it get from? If it produces both antibodies. So O produces antibodies for A and antibodies for B. From D? What do you mean D? I skipped it. Where did I skip it? Is it this one? Yeah, that's for the RH system. I'm using good notes. Hopefully they can sponsor me one day. Okay, what's your question again, Anas? Can you re-ask your question? Because I got lost a bit. Okay, خلاص, I'm just gonna... Hala, we'll look at it again in the quiz, okay? We'll look at it. D is something in the blood. Yes, D is for the RH system, okay? We'll look at it again when it shows up in the quiz. Okay, so let's just try to finish from the book. Okay, I think it's here. Yep, I found it. Okay, guys, this is another table you also have to memorize. If you also know this table, it's going to be super easy. Okay, everyone, take a screenshot right now of this table. Print it out or something, put it as your wallpaper, I don't know. But make sure you know it for tomorrow. Because once you know this table, everything else is going to be super easy. Okay, so let me move on directly to the RH system. So it's right here. Okay, Anas, now I'm gonna be talking about the D antigen. Okay? So, RH system is related to the D antigen. So you can either have a positive or a negative depending on the presence or absence of the D antigen. So now you end up with 8 major blood groups. You have ARHD+, which is A+. You have A-, you have B+, B-, AB+, AB-, O+, and O-. Okay, that's related to the RH system. Okay? And that's why when we give, as I said, when we give blood transfusions, we have to watch out. Okay? Did everyone understand who can give blood to and who can receive blood from and all of that, or no? I think it's simple once you understand this table and the other table I showed you, and it's just common sense later on. Okay, write it down on your scratch paper, think about it before you answer, and it will be super easy. Okay, perfect. Okay, we still have the common diseases. Okay, so the diseases are easy. Okay, they're not bad. Okay, guys, in the chat, answer the other questions your friends have. Okay, so what is exactly? Please, Tala, help us out here. Thank you so much for your support. Okay, I'm gonna be talking now about the common diseases of the circulatory system. Okay, so what are those diseases? They're usually heart disease is called atherosclerosis. Okay, what is atherosclerosis? It's basically the narrowing down and obstruction of your arteries due to what? Due to the buildup of fatty deposits. Okay, so that's what your parents tell you. Don't have fast food a lot. Don't have food high in cholesterol and all of that. Why is that? Because those are fatty deposits that can build on your arteries, and they can also, so they basically restrict your arteries. So for example, say this is an artery, okay? Then you have plaque building up. Now imagine the blood flow. The blood flow is going to be less. So your other organs are receiving less blood, okay? So once they receive less blood, they're also receiving what? Less oxygen, less nutrients. Why is that? Because remember, what did we say about blood? Blood transports oxygen, nutrients, carbon dioxide, okay, and wastes also, okay? So if blood is not able to enter as much, no oxygen, no nutrients, this organ it can stop, like the heart attack. Okay, that's how heart attacks happen. So I have to use the balloon. Yeah, there is it's called, I think, angioplasty, where you insert, okay, they do an insertion to open up the artery because it's been narrowed down, so you have to open it up. Okay, it's a surgical procedure. You guys have that also for the exam? Okay, that's basically what atherosclerosis is. And we also have coronary heart disease, which is CHD. Okay, it's caused by atherosclerosis. And we said it's the narrowing down of the arteries. And remember, heart attack, we said in the previous video, what arteries supply the heart with oxygen and nutrients? Coronary arteries. So once these arteries have atherosclerosis, so they build up, no blood and oxygen is gonna reach the heart, and that's why you have a heart attack. Okay, Omar Said, give me a moment. I'll go back to atherosclerosis, but let me just quickly explain the lymphatic system because Tala has to leave soon, okay? So what is the lymphatic system? Lymphatic system, we spoke a bit about it in the first video, okay? Now we're going to go into a bit more details, okay? So as blood passes through blood capillaries, some blood plasma seeps through the capillary walls. Platelets can also escape. Okay, this is just useless information, okay? They're telling you that through this, when they pass, okay, you have here, we call it interstitial fluid, okay, tissue fluid, that's right here, okay? Those are the stuff that leak out during the exchange that occurs, okay? Now, we don't want this tissue fluid to just build up and no one's gonna come pick it up, right? That's how people get edema, okay? But you don't have to know that, okay? So this leaked plasma or extracellular fluids is called tissue fluid, and it has a composition that's similar to the blood plasma, but it has a lower nutrient and oxygen content and more carbon dioxide, okay? So not all the fluid that leaves the capillaries goes back. Of course, not everything that leaves is gonna enter. Only 10% is retained in the tissues. What happens to this excess fluid? So those interstitial fluid, they're going to be drained into vessels called lymphatic capillaries, okay, and they form to become lymphatic vessels, okay. So those are lymphatic capillaries, and then they build up with each other to form lymphatic vessels, okay. Now, what do those lymphatic vessels carry? Now, they carry this tissue fluid, but once they're inside the lymphatic vessels, we call the fluid lymph, okay? So this lymph is transported into the veins called the subclavian veins. This vein is around your collarbone, okay? So you guys can get a visual, it's around your collarbone, and then it deposits that near the heart, and then this lymph rejoins the heart, okay? So it's not lost. It doesn't just leave our body, okay? It rejoins the heart. But however, they have different, what's it called? They're different. Lymph is different than the blood. How is it different? Here it is. Blood is pumped by the heart. Lymph is not pumped to the lymphatic vessels, okay? Lymph moves more slowly because it's not pumped by something like the heart. And many large lymphatic vessels can benefit from the contraction of nearby skeletal muscles. Like we said in veins, remember in my first video where I showed you that in your calves, when you have skeletal muscles, so when these skeletal muscles contract, they allow the veins to pressure the veins for blood to go back to the heart, okay? And then you have another function of the lymphatic system is also in immunity, okay? And we'll also be looking at it in the immune system in the next chapter, how the lymphatic system plays a role in immunity. How does it do that? Because it has something called lymph nodes, okay? And what do those lymph nodes do? They house white blood cells. So white blood cells, you can say, are stored over there. And those lymph nodes are distributed throughout the body. So they're not found in one particular place. They're found throughout your body. And those lymph nodes filter the lymph to remove any pathogens and form particles before it rejoins the blood, okay? And it also tells you there are sites where some white blood cells are activated to fight against infection. Okay, and also you have the spleen. The spleen also houses white blood cells. But now the spleen, some people have it removed due to an accident or something, and they continue fine, okay? But it's better not to, of course. And that's it for the lymphatic system, okay? Is that good, Tala, or you have any questions about the lymphatic system? Okay, I just have to know that the lymphatic system has two functions, okay? It transports lymph, okay? This lymph results from the excess tissue fluid, okay? And it carries it back up to the subclavian vein, where it deposits it to rejoin the heart, the blood, okay? And another function of it is because it has lymph nodes, and these lymph nodes house white blood cells, it plays a role in fighting against infection. And also, just the last thing before you leave, Tala, lymphatic vessels also have valves, okay? And remember, the function of valves is to force blood to move in one direction. Okay, any questions about what we just took now before I do the quiz? Or we're all good? Okay, let me check the quiz out. Ali, did you understand the lymphatic system now better? Okay guys, for your friends who want to join for the quiz, let them know that we're gonna start doing the quiz now. If anyone can send a message on the group just to let everyone know that we're gonna be doing the quiz right now, for them to join. Okay, the quiz is 45 questions. Okay, I'm just gonna wait like 2 minutes for the people who want to join for the quiz. Just let them know so they can join directly now. Just gonna wait 1-2 minutes and that's it. Okay, I'm just gonna start. Okay, so I'm gonna skip this because this is previous material. If anyone needs help in those, just watch my previous videos. Okay, which of the following represents the advantages of double circulation? Remember what we said about double circulation. So the blood reaches organs faster. Yes, we said there's a higher pressure and a higher speed. Okay, this is wrong because we said the last option is wrong because we said there's a higher pressure. Of course, we said oxygen delivery is more efficient in a double circulatory system. Okay, the pumping pressure results in a higher blood pressure and faster blood flow. That is correct. Mammals have okay, this is also correct. Okay, now this one, if you put it, it's not gonna work. Like I can't add the, but it should be, I think it should be faster. Okay, make sure from your teachers, but it should also be faster because, logically speaking, higher blood pressure and faster blood flow, it should reach the organs faster. But we can only choose 2 options. Okay, what are some functions of the lymphatic system? We said involved in the defense against pathogens. It returns fluid to the blood circulation. Is it involved in blood clotting? No. What did we say is involved in blood clotting? We said platelets are involved in blood clotting. Okay. The lymphatic system includes the site where that is correct. Remember we said the spleen and lymph nodes. And includes the site where nutrients are absorbed into the blood. No, they're not absorbed in the blood in a certain way. So it's just those 3, okay? Okay, which of the following is true about the function of platelets? What did we say? So activated platelets result in the damage of blood vessels? No, it doesn't result in the damage of blood vessels. They're activated as a result of the damage. Okay, this is correct. The fibrin strands trap. Remember we said fibrin is insoluble. Following an injury, platelets become inactivated. That's wrong. They become activated. Okay, so the activated platelets, exactly, they initiate a set of chemical reactions. After they set the chemical reactions, what happens? This leads to the conversion of fibrinogen to fibrin. Fibrin is insoluble, fibrinogen is soluble. That's why we have to change it to the insoluble form, and that's why they clump into each other, forming a blood clot. Okay, bile, I'm gonna skip this. Okay, also the skip this too. Okay, we did this before. If you guys want me to do it again, let me know. But if you're fine with it, I can just skip it. It's just you have to know arteries, remember, carry blood away from the heart. Veins carry blood towards the heart. Renal is related to kidneys. Pulmonary is related to lungs. Okay, Hassan, I got you, man. So vena cava is what? Carries deoxygenated blood towards the heart. Okay? Pulmonary artery is gonna carry, remember, deoxygenated blood because it's one of the exceptions we have. Okay? It carries deoxygenated blood away from the heart. Or we can say to the lungs. Aorta carries oxygenated blood away from the heart. So it carries oxygenated blood from the heart. Renal artery, remember renal is related to the kidneys. Artery away from the heart, so it's going to be towards the kidneys and it's oxygenated. Pulmonary is oxygenated from the lungs towards the heart. Renal vein from from the kidneys back to the heart. Okay. Okay, you guys want me to do this also? Remember, just know that diastole is relaxation, systole is contraction. If I say ventricular, okay, let me do it. So during, how am I gonna know if it atrial, systole, or ventricular? I look at the question. Left and right ventricles contract, so it's going to be ventricular. Okay, systole. They pump blood into the wait. Why can't I put the keyword? Okay. Into the aorta. But this is wrong. This should be pulmonary artery, not pulmonary vein. If anyone can confirm. But I'm like 90% sure that it's not pulmonary vein, it should be pulmonary artery. Okay, whatever. So in ventricular systole, the semilunar valves open while the atrioventricular are closed. Okay? Now, if we have the atria are being contracted, we call it atrial systole. Okay? The semilunar valves are closed and the atrioventricular valves are open. Okay? Guys, make sure you know it. Okay, it always comes in the exam. Okay, Anas, what question do you have? What do you mean by how? Semilunar atrioventricular. I explained it in my last video. I suggest if you want, after I'm done with this, make sure you watch the other video because it has all the explanation needed. Okay? So just watch it and you'll be fine. Okay, we did this last time also. So I'm just gonna skip it. Just know that the left side is thicker because it has a high pressure because it's carrying blood to all of the heart, while the right side is only transferring blood to the lungs. Okay, I'm also gonna skip this as a table you have to know. Okay, I spoke about it in my first video. Okay, the diagram 2, we talked about the diagram. Okay, just know the left side is oxygenated, the right side is deoxygenated. Number 9 is the septum, which separates the left side from the right side. Okay. Okay, let's do this. During physical activity, what happens? Of course, more carbon dioxide gas is released as a result of increased rate of cellular respiration. Okay. Can I do 11? Okay, I'll do 11 now. This causes a what? A decrease or a drop in pH. Okay, I think they want me to write drop. A drop in pH. The brain will sense this, okay? And then sense the pacemaker of the heart. Let's do 11. Okay. Of course, the arteries have a thick cell wall because they have a high pressure. Capillaries, we said we have exchange, they're going to be one cell thick only. Amount of elastic walls, of course, going to be highest in arteries, is going to be low in veins, and we're going to have none in capillaries. The lumen, of course, in veins is going to be large, in capillaries is going to be a bit smaller. Presence of valves is only in veins, okay? Only veins have valves, okay? Relative blood pressure, of course, highest in arteries, low in veins, okay? Function, arteries starts with A for away from the heart, veins to the heart, capillaries, site of exchange, okay? Okay, this is easy too. I'll do it for you guys, okay? So oxygen is used up, carbon dioxide accumulates, the contraction of the heart increases, supply more oxygen and glucose to allow the rapid removal of carbon dioxide. Okay? Okay, this is, I think, it's previous information. Okay? Okay, this is also easy. When oxygen is not delivered to the muscles quickly, cellular respiration occurs, anaerobic respiration occurs, resulting in the accumulation of lactic acid. Okay? Do you guys want me to write it down or you got it? I'll just write it in case. So lactic acid buildup, that's what causes fatigue. We have oxygen is not delivered. Since oxygen is not delivered, we have anaerobic respiration. Okay? You got it, guys? Let's go next. Okay, what happens to the lactic acid when it accumulates? If you guys want me to do this, let me know. I'm just gonna skip it for now. Okay, this is also previous information. Okay, aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Straightforward. Okay, let me do this for you guys. Okay, because it always comes in the exam, and many of you get confused in it and you get it wrong. Okay. So, this is for the blood flow. Left ventricle. It goes from the left ventricle into the... Do we have valves? Okay, the valves are not here. Okay. So I'm gonna skip the valves. So we go from the left ventricle to the aorta. After the aorta, we go to the body organs. Now from the body organs, deoxygenated blood is carried by the vena cava, goes into the right atrium, then right ventricle, and then it needs to oxygenate the blood again. So where are we gonna go? To the lungs. So we're gonna go pulmonary artery, and then pulmonary vein. Okay, we skipped something though. Okay, we have to go pulmonary artery. What did I skip? Lungs first. I didn't see the lungs. Yep, the lungs is here. Pulmonary okay. Pulmonary artery, lungs, and then pulmonary vein. Thank you, Omar. Okay. The valves, okay, we spoke about it in the first video. So just check it out and you'll be fine with it. Okay, this is also previous information. Okay, this too. Aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Just know when you have CO2 and water being produced, okay, is going to be aerobic respiration. Alcohol is usually in yeast, okay, while lactic acid is in muscles, okay. That's why your muscles feel sore after a workout, for example. This is aerobic, the other one is anaerobic. Can I do 20? Yeah, I got you. Okay, so A is on the right side, okay? So it's going to have what type of valve? Pulmonary valve, because it's separating the right ventricle from the pulmonary artery. B is going to be between the right atrium and the right ventricle, so it's going to be tricuspid. Okay. C is going to be aortic, while D is going to be bicuspid. Okay. 17. Okay, 17. So what is it saying? Let's read it. Does something diffuses from the into the to be carried to the when it's broken down into... Okay, so we know that the liver is what breaks down lactic acid into what? Breaks where it's broken down into something and water. I think into carbon dioxide. No, wait. Who's gonna help me in this question? So I think lactic acid diffuses from the muscles into the blood to be carried to the liver, where it is broken down into glucose and water, into carbon dioxide. Yeah, carbon dioxide, that's what I said. As carbon dioxide, then water. Is that right, Tala? Oh no. What should I change? Oh, CO2. Okay, perfect. Okay, this is also simple. Whenever you see human muscles, okay, you can know you're gonna produce lactic acid. However, because they told you oxygen is short in supply, okay? So you produce lactic acid and energy. Oh wait, there's also carbon dioxide. Wait. So which one are we gonna choose? So I think we're gonna choose this one. Is that right? Oh, the last one? No CO2. Look, the way you can also think about it, okay? Think about chemistry. Because the equation in the last one is not balanced. You have here 6C and another 2C. You have 8 carbons. Here you only have 6 carbons. So it's not going to work. But in the second option is a better option. Okay? Okay, this is basically how a blood clot forms. Okay? Do you guys want me to do it? Okay, remember we said following a clot, what becomes activated? Platelets become activated. Okay? The activated platelets, what do? They release chemicals which activate a number of protein factors. What's going to be the second option? Activates a number of what? Clotting factors. My bad. Okay, so we said soluble is what? Fibrinogen. Okay, I spelled it completely wrong. Fibrinogen, okay. Into insoluble, sorry. Of course, we want it to be insoluble. Okay, and then the blood clot forms strands and some leaking red blood cells. Is this correct? The fibrin. Okay, perfect. But the other one is correct, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, what are the risk factors in developing atherosclerosis and coronary heart disease? Okay, remember we said this what? Abnormally high cholesterol levels in the blood. That's why your parents tell you don't have fast food, because it is unhealthy. Okay, it's not working. Khalas, it's fine. So of course, if you have an unhealthy diet rich in saturated fats, it's also going to lead to atherosclerosis. Also, obesity. Okay. Now, also lack of exercise. Okay. Of course, hypertension, which is high blood pressure. Okay. And I also think excessive long-term stress, or no? If anyone can confirm. And smoking. Smoking could also lead to atherosclerosis and CHD. And we talked about that in the respiratory system. So excessive long-term stress can also be right. Exactly. Excessive long-term stress can work. Okay, so like this is going to be right guys? Hello, we're gonna get it wrong because it's not able to underline each word. Okay, so whatever. But guys, that's an important note for you guys. Don't stress on a silly exam. Okay, just do well. Just study and you'll do well. Okay. It doesn't need that big of a deal. Okay, you're all smart. You're all gonna get into university. You're all gonna achieve your dreams, hopefully. Okay. How does long-term stress make you get them? Stress is basically #1 killer. Okay. So stress just leads to diseases in all of your body, not just heart diseases. Yeah, it increases your blood pressure because when you're stressed, your sympathetic nervous system is activated. What does your sympathetic nervous system do? Accelerates your heart rate, so your heart starts beating faster, you're pumping more blood, so you're going to have a higher blood pressure, okay? And this high blood pressure leads to hypertension, which can eventually lead to atherosclerosis and CHD, okay? I hope that makes sense, Eliana. Okay, those are the mechanisms, okay? The ones we spoke about. So balloon angioplasty or bypass, okay? Yes, age and gender too can also play a role. That is correct. But we didn't have that as an option, okay? So divert blood flow around a section. So when we divert it around the section, it's called the bypass, okay? So bypass when we get a different pathway, for example, okay? However, when we put to keep it open, it's going to be what? It's going to be angioplasty, okay? Now when we take another blood vessel, it's also going to be a bypass operation. Inserting and inflating a tiny balloon is angioplasty, okay? Okay, that's how atherosclerosis happens, okay? I'm just gonna skip this for now, okay? We'll get back to it if you guys need it. Okay, let's look at the ECG. Electrocardiograph, okay? Or gram. So basically, it's PQRST. Okay, that's the ECG, or sometimes they also call it EKG. Yeah, I'll try to come back to 27 at the end. So they're telling us in P, we have the atria contract. If the atria are contracting, remember we said the atrioventricular are open, semilunar are closed. You have the ventricles contract, you have the atrioventricular closed, the semilunar open. Now they're both relaxed. We said the atria are open while the other one closes, okay? Okay, the components of the blood has, remember, red blood cells, white blood cells, and, okay, wait, I put them all together. So we have white blood cells also, and we have platelets, okay? Which of the following are transported by blood plasma? You have red blood cells, okay? Now hemoglobin is found in red blood cells, so of course it's going to be transported, okay? Starch, no saliva is in your mouth, how's it going to reach your blood, okay? Lipase, you're also not having any digestion in your blood, okay? You also have white blood cells which fight infection. You have platelets which are for blood clotting. You don't have ions. Bile, of course not. Glucose, we do have glucose because we transport nutrients in our blood plasma. What is the second one? It is not the second. Hemoglobin is not? Okay, my bad. Here maybe they meant hemoglobin by itself, that's why it's wrong. Okay, also urea, also amino acids, I think. Also hormones, and also carbon dioxide. And remember, carbon dioxide is transported through the blood in what form? Bicarbonate form. Okay? But if someone can make sure of this. And ions, yes. And ions. My bad, I didn't see it. Okay. So this will probably come to, guys. Okay? So think about it. What did we say? Platelets are cell fragments. Where do we see cell fragments? In B. Right? Look at B. Small cell fragments. Okay? That's going to be my platelets. Now, we have E. You can see has granules. Okay? So do we have, it could be a white blood cell. Okay? While also C has organelles and probably granules too, so it's also going to be a white blood cell. Now D has none of that, so it could be a red blood cell, while the liquid is going to be what? Plasma. Okay? A is red blood cell. Are you sure A is red blood cell? Okay, this is correct. Do you guys understand how I'm solving it? Okay, so it's just look at the graph. B is, we said platelets are fragments. A is the liquid part, which is the plasma. Okay, don't worry. C, a phagocyte. I can show you what a phagocyte is. Look. Phagocytes, okay? I can show you. Phagocytes are usually large. Okay, this is a phagocyte. Okay? You can see how a lymphocyte has a perfect circle, while a phagocyte does not have. Here, it's not so clear for us to say it's a phagocyte. It could be. You know, probably E could be a phagocyte. Okay, because if you look at this and if you look at E, probably E is a phagocyte. Yeah, E looks like one more. Okay, right here. Look, perfect. What did we say? Third one looks like a lymphocyte. It looks like a perfect circle, while 2 is a phagocyte. Okay? I can't label cell 1. I don't know if there's cell 1. Okay. Match each blood component to its role. Remember, we said phagocyte, what do they do? Phagocytosis. Platelets, blood clotting. Plasma is for transport. Red blood cell, transport of oxygen. Lymphocyte is antibody production. We'll also look at it more in the immune system. Okay, remember we said fish have a single circulation. It passes through the heart only once. Okay? While in mammals, we have double circulation. It passes through the heart twice. And remember, we said double circulation is more efficient. That's the double circulation, okay? Remember, we said pulmonary is between the heart and the lungs. Systemic is between the heart and the body, okay? I'm just gonna skip them for now. If you guys have questions about them, let me know. Okay, this looks like what? Single circulation. Why single circulation? Look at it. It's passing through the heart only once, okay? Compared to double circulation. Of course, it's going to be in fish. passes once. Okay. This is week 7. Rule of what? Can you just explain what the rule? Okay. Okay, guys, who's gonna help me with this? This is easy. Think about it logically. Vein is what? Vein is C? Why is vein C? Okay, guys, think about it again. B and C, exactly. Look at the layer, okay? Look at the layers. The A has the thickest layer, okay? So it should be an artery. Now this has a thinner layer, okay? So it should be a vein. This has 1 cell thick, so it should be a capillary, okay? Did you guys understand it? Just look at the thickness of the layers. No, it's wrong. No, it's wrong, or no, you don't understand it. Oh, it's wrong. Vein is A. Okay, probably just because it has a larger lumen. Okay? So maybe here they're talking about the thickness in both is nearly the same, but we're gonna go with A because it has a larger lumen. Okay, because remember, veins have a larger lumen inside. Okay? But you know, I just thought because this looked thicker, but it's maybe the way it's oriented. Yes, that is correct. Arteries have smaller inside, while veins have a larger lumen. Okay, this is also easy. We spoke about it. Okay, higher blood pressure is double. Faster blood flow, of course, is double. Less efficient, single. Low blood pressure is single. Okay, this is for the people who asked about the lymphatic system. Those are the functions of the lymphatic system. Returns fluid to the blood, defense against pathogens, and activation of some white blood cells and destruction of old and worn out red blood cells. Okay, now those are the functions of the lymphatic system. Yellowish liquid component, remember we said this plasma composed mostly of water, okay, and also has plasma proteins, okay, and this is gonna be plasma, and it's mainly made up of what? Of water. Okay. Okay, coronary heart disease. I'm just gonna skip it. If you guys want it, let me know. Okay, this is also from the digestive system. We're gonna skip the digestive system. Also from the digestive system. Also from the digestive system. Okay, I'll do it for you guys. Remember, sucrase breaks down what? Sucrose. And what produces it? The pancreas. No, not the pancreas. I think it's the liver. Not the liver, sorry, not the liver. The intestine. Small intestine. Okay, I'll go back to 40, don't worry. I'll go back to 40. Lipase breaks down lipids or fats. Yeah, no, I will do 40. Okay, and it's produced in the small intestine and in the pancreas. Okay. Pepsin breaks down proteins into small polypeptides. Salivary amylase breaks down starch in the mouth. Okay. Let's go back to 40 for you guys. Okay, coronary heart disease develops when the coronary arteries are narrowed or blocked due to, we said, atherosclerosis, okay? And the segment of the cardiac muscle nourished by this artery will run short of oxygen and will not be able to function properly. Partial or complete blockage can lead to a condition known as, it can block due to hypertension. This condition is known as atherosclerosis, in which a portion of the heart muscle stops contracting. Or wait, I think what they mean is this. If someone can confirm. Yes, perfect. Okay, that's 40. Okay, the main function of white blood cells. Remember, Y-shaped are what are called antibodies, okay? They respond to the antigens and prevent them from harming the body, while another group of, remember, phagocytes destroy pathogens by phagocytosis. Exactly. Okay guys, there was only one question about the blood groups. Why were you all stressed about it? Okay, so we said blood group A, they have A antigens, okay? Blood group B have B antigens, AB have both, O has none. Now the antibodies is going to be the opposite. So blood group A produces anti-B. The antibodies destroy the antigens of foreign ones. That is correct, perfect. Blood group B has anti-A. Now blood group AB, since it's a universal receiver, antibodies is the opposite. Watch out, okay? Since AB is a universal receiver, it has 0 antibodies, and since O can only receive from O, why? Because it has both antibodies. Okay, that's it for the quiz, guys. It's pretty straightforward. I think it's mainly like you still have material from before, so I suggest you watch the other videos again if you have any questions. Okay, and best of luck in your exam. If you have any questions, let me know before I end the live. Thank you all for joining in. I wish you all the best in your exam. Don't forget to spread the channel out with your friends. Let's reach 300 subscribers, guys, by the end of this week. Throw W's in the chat, guys. W's in the chat. You're most welcome, guys. Okay, I will re-explain the lymphatic system. No, Ali, I want to go back to making videos, but right now the situation is not perfect. I'm still settling in with the university and stuff, because university is getting harder right now, because, you know, as time goes forward, it gets harder. So I'm trying my best to work on the videos, but if I won't be able to work on the videos, I'll just go live so you guys can also benefit at the same time, okay? If we only have one question about the lymphatic system, I'll re-explain it. Okay, just know for the lymphatic system, the functions we spoke about, okay? So it transports this excess fluid. So remember in the first video, I drew this diagram for you, okay? Remember when I drew this? Okay, I told you this is here's the vein, here you have the artery, and then here you have like the capillary bed, right? And I told you here exchange occurs, okay? So during this exchange, not everything that leaves will come back. It's a bit more confusing and more complex, okay? I'm not gonna go into details because I don't think you have to know them, but you have an exchange that happens in the beginning, and then most of it come back okay, most of it come back. But not everything that left here comes back here. You have excess fluid that remains here. Now we don't want this excess fluid to build up. So you have your lymph vessels or lymph capillaries. They take this excess fluid, okay? Once they take it, we call this fluid lymph, okay? This lymph is transported in lymphatic vessels and it goes up to around your collarbone, okay? You know your collarbone, you have over there a vein called the subclavian vein, okay? That's where it transports this lymph and transports into the veins called the subclavian vein, and that's where it rejoins the blood, okay? So it re-enters our circulation, okay? And just know for the lymphatic system also has valves, okay? So making them move in one direction, and also works in fighting against infection, as we said, because of the lymph nodes where they house white blood cells, and for example in the spleen, okay, where you also have activation of white blood cells. That's it for the lymphatic system. Is that clear? Or is that good? Is it better now? Okay, perfect. You're most welcome. Thank you guys for joining in. Don't forget to try to share it with as many people as possible. Let your family, your friends, everyone to subscribe, support the channel so I can keep on doing what I'm doing. Thank you guys so much. And I'll see you soon. Let me know how you do in your exam. Best of luck. And bye-bye, guys. Thank you all for